In the More tab, you can see various options. Here you can configure timers, switches or sensors to trigger scenes. You can set up a gateway so that you can get remote connection to the network. And then you have network setup options. In here you can find network settings, where you can see the name of the network and change it from there and adjust various other settings. What you cannot change is the radio settings and the frequencies that have been set up for the network. Sharing settings is where you go to share your network so that there's a copy of the network configuration saved in Casambi's cloud server that can be then recalled later should there be an issue. Control options gives various settings for different fade times in the network and other options which are covered in more detail in the user guide. Also, how to set up control hierarchy is described there too. Performance and security settings give some specific settings where you can adjust the aspects related to the performance of the network or the security of the network. Add devices enables you to add devices that are unpaired and nearby if you have any. There aren't any in this example, so that I won't demonstrate that. Configure all luminaires are some options that you can apply to all luminaires in the network. You can also restart the network here, which means that it will clear out any ongoing commands to start the network programming from the fresh start. So what's already been programmed, you can then start using the network again from there. It doesn't delete the programming. Network history shows the most recent changes that have done to the network in snapshots, and you can also create a backup here and give it a name if you want to, so you can recall it from here later if you want to as well. And device storage used shows the amount of memory that's used in the Casambi devices. Moving to nearby devices, this is where you see any Casambi enabled devices that are within Bluetooth range of your mobile device, and you can select them here. You can see various information about the devices. This signal strength is very important, gives a good indication of how good the communication would be between the devices. Anything with a low signal strength has got probably quite poor communication, so maybe you need to move devices closer together or add additional devices to your mesh network. Change network enables you to create a new network from here, log into an existing network or view the demo network. You'll also see a list of any networks that your mobile device has come into range of listed here. App settings enables you to change the theme, so the visual appearance of the Casambi app, the language. You have the options to prefer previous network, which means that if you're within range of the last network that you were editing, it will automatically open when you open the app. If you're not in range, it will just give you an option to select the network. Notify unpaired devices gives a pop-up when new unpaired devices come into range. If you're using Philips Hue, you can actually enable the option here so you can connect to a Philips Hue Wi-Fi bridge. You've got the option to show help buttons. Hide full screen sliders will mean that it disables the full screen sliders that appear in the luminaires tab. Some people don't like that because it can also cause confusion when you're actually adjusting settings. Site feature is a way of linking multiple networks together. Send feedback is a way of contacting our support team should you have a problem. Reset application will reset the application to its default settings, and this is risky. If you have an unshared network, you will not be able to get access to that network again if you reset the application, and you'll have to go through some unpairing options to unpair devices and repair them to the network. Then there's a few legal options there. Lastly, we have the help option where you can see frequently asked questions and firmware release notes.